I didn't try.
Yes.
All right. Good evening, ladies. Let me get you the poll everywhere link. I actually had closed out the website and didn't realize I didn't copy the link for you ladies for tonight's presentation. We are talking about going to college versus a vocational program. Which route is best for you? Let me get the poll everywhere link so you ladies can go ahead and answer it while we're talking. Share it in bed. Give me just a sec. I am just really tripping. The news thing came across that Cicely Tyson passed, and y'all know that's an icon. They're not saying how. I mean, you know, she was 96, but they didn't say how she passed. Her family just notified her publicist to let everybody know that she did pass. Hey, Makia, thank you for coming. I'm trying to set my timer. I'm not late. I think I'm doing some stuff just on time. Y'all know me. But all right, ladies, today we're going to be discussing college versus vocational programs. Which route is best for you? And I'm trying to get my lamp correct. It's not acting right tonight. It's kind of like hitting off my face, but I don't know. Maybe that always happens and I just never paid it any attention. But here we just type their names and type your name for me, please, ma'am. Yeah, I know me. I'm over here moving boxes. All righty. So center and guide this evening is myself, Dr. King, who I am an awesome wife and mother, a 34-year resident of Duncanville, Texas, and I've lived in the 800 Link community for 18 years. And so because we're talking about the routes for either college or vocational programs, my question for myself tonight was, which route did you take, Dr. King? And I chose college. I got my high school diploma, my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, and my doctoral degree. And so the routes to my degrees were once I graduated high school from Duncanville, I went to Baylor University. And as you see, we don't want to talk about Baylor. Nope. Let's move on to El Centro College, where I earned my associate's degree in liberal arts. I went on from there to the University of Texas of the Permian Basin and received my Bachelor of Arts in psychology. A few years later, earned my Master of Arts from the University of Phoenix in organizational management. And just 2 years ago, what are we in 2021? 3 years ago. Oh my God, it's been 3 years already. 3 years ago, I received my Doctor of Education in Sports Management. And so what TI Communities Pillars does this presentation focus on? As every week, we are doing education and community building. And this presentation is definitely for high school juniors, but also for high school seniors who are weighing their options when setting goals for after graduation. And so this week's question is, which choice did you make right out of high school? Did you choose to go to college or university, or did you choose to enroll into a vocational program? Did you do something else like, you know, go to work or join the military or something like that? Or you just did nothing? Give me your answers, please, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. Uh-oh. I missed a slide. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm missing something. All right, so the first thing we're going to discuss is the college route. And so is college right for you? And what I'm going to be discussing with this, the basics of it is, you know, in time investment, the requirements, you know, and specifics for each program. And then, you know, it's up to you to decide which way you want to go if you haven't graduated high school yet. And so for college or attending in college, do I have a chat? Do I have a question? How do I answer? Oh, did you not see the link? Hold on, Sheila. I may have posted the link. Did you see I'll repost it. Here's the poll everywhere link. Just click on that link, Sheila, and it'll open up a box and then you'll be able to choose your answer. And so is college right for you? The time investment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years, depending on major or minor and your career choices. So 2 years, that's roughly an associate's degree. 4 years is going to be a bachelor's. 6 years is going to be a master's. Anything after that is going to be a doctorate, depending on what you're trying to do as a career choice. And then your requirement for college is to be a high school graduate or have earned a GED. You have to have a specific specified minimum grade point average. And then some institutions are open enrollment. That means that as long as you meet the criteria to enroll there, everyone that applies is accepted. They do no rejections. Don't worry about it then, Sheila. Uh-oh, there we go. I got a new mouse, ladies. And then some is, like I said, some institutions are open enrollment where everyone is accepted based on enrollment criteria. University of Phoenix Online, when I first started there, I don't know about now, but when I first went to University of Phoenix, they were an open enrollment college. And that's because they didn't want to tell someone, no, you can't get your degree. There may be some classes that you have to take. You know, they have, I don't call them remedial. I forgot what they call them, but some of them are the equivalent to like high school level senior classes. So you can refresh yourself and get the skills you needed to take the college level courses. They do have those for some of the, for some students, and you do have to take a test to determine whether or not you need to take those classes. And so a lot of schools, especially a lot of online programs, are open enrollment. As long as you meet the requirements, meet the GPA, and have everything, they're going to allow you in. And then some institutions have an application process. Okay, thank you, C. Some institutions have an application process where you submit an application, SAT, ACT, GRE, or TOEFL scores. Those are standardized test scores, depending on your major and what level you're in. Some may require you to submit an essay. Some may require additional forms, like some colleges have their own forms they want you to submit. I was telling somebody the other day, Texas A&M's application package was like 30 pages long because they had all of these extra forms that they wanted you to fill out and submit. Your average one is going to be an application. Other than this year, I know for the class of 2021 in the fall and then the fall of 2022, those college freshmen are not required to submit standardized test scores. So the SAT and ACT and GREs are for your master's programs. I forgot what the TOEFL is. I think that's an English test for people where English is not their first language. But those, except for the TOEFL, but the SAT, ACT, and GRE are all optional for a lot of colleges and universities for the incoming fall of 2021 freshmen, as well as the fall of 2022 freshmen because of the pandemic. But, it just depends on the college. Like I said, they all have the standard application and application fee, which some people waive. Some colleges do waive the application fees if you are on any type of government assistance or you get free or reduced lunch in school or whatever, they waive your fees. But, the application process, that's the same. Everybody's going to submit an application. You're going to submit the forms, and somewhere down the line, you're either going to get an acceptance or a rejection letter. And in the state of Texas, if you're in the top 10% of your class, you're automatically accepted into all Texas public colleges and universities. So you'll automatically get an acceptance letter, but that's just for Texas. I'm pretty sure other states do it for their high schools. I just know about Texas. I live here. And then for college, it results in a 2-year certification, which is a associate's, or a 4-year degree, bachelor's, or the master's degree, which is 6 years, anywhere from 5 to 6 years, depending on, and then a terminal degree, which is, your doctorates, your Juris Doctorates, medical doctorates, all those type of things. Those are all sometimes take you years, and at the end of the day, how long it takes you to finish college is up to you. People can tell you, an associate's is only going to take you 2 years. Some people go to school year round and can finish it in less than a year or less than 2 years. So it's up to you and what you're willing to take on that determines how long it takes you to finish. It took me 15 years to complete, and I'll take that a lot back. Hey, Corey, it took me, I started in 90. And okay, let's say 91, because remember, we're not talking about Baylor. So 91 to 2018, I don't know how long that is, but that's how long it took me to get all 4 of my degrees. So there we go. And I'm okay with that. I did what I did. Life is what it is. But that was my whole goal. When I was 8 years old, I said I was going to get, not 8, but 12. My mother got her master's, so I had to get mine. That was my whole thing. I wanted to do everything my mom did. And that's what I did. She got her master's when I was 12, so I said I was going to get my master's because my mama got hers. And I was like, then I'm going to get my doctorate because that's just what I want. And that's what I've done. So now, different types of college courses are collegiate programs. for those who are thinking about going to college, or you have your high school collegiate programs. Just about every school district in America has a collegiate program. I know everyone around here in the DFW Metroplex does. You either have a collegiate program or you have what's called the International Baccalaureate. I'm getting an internet connection unstable, so if I'm buffering, excuse me. But they either have the, oh, and it's on there too, the high school international baccalaureate courses. If you look down by the bottom, those are international baccalaureate courses are a little bit more rigorous than your AP classes and kind of on the level with the collegiate program. But the international baccalaureate courses, that's a program you take if you know you're leaving the country to go to school. Like some people will go to Oxford, you know, and go to England or go to Greece somewhere and go to college. That's normally when you would want to be in an international baccalaureate courses, because it's going to get those types of courses prepare you to learn outside of this country, because people learn in different ways in different countries. But you have your collegiate programs, you have high school honors programs, which most of those have kind of gone away now that they've done the AP and the pre-AP. Their honors courses you normally see like in the 7th and 8th grade. Now you have very few honors courses in high school, because mostly everything now is either a collegiate course or a dual credit or dual enrollment. And remember, dual credit is where you're taking that same class at the local junior college. They partnered with your high school where you can get college credit for like English, or, you know, my daughter's taking engineering, but you can take like your core courses and your grade at the junior college, which is Mountain View for us, is your grade for your high school class. And then dual enrollment is you have 2 different teachers. So you have one teacher at the high school, you have one teacher in the college. So my daughter's in both. She takes a dual credit class at Mountain View, and then she takes a dual enrollment class at UT Austin, an English course. And then with the dual enrollment, you get 2 grades. You get one class, you get 1 grade for your high school English class or her high school English class. And then she gets another grade for her college English class. And the college English class, she can actually decline that grade if she doesn't like it. But she accepted hers. She just finished her first one. So it's the dual credit and dual enrollment. Most people consider them the same, but they're really not. They both result in you getting college credit. But there are 2 different types of courses. But the dual credit, that class stands, that grade stands. What you get is what you get. Dual enrollment, you can deny that the college part of the grade. And then you have the high school pre-advanced placement and advanced placement courses. That's where College Board comes in. Everybody knows about College Board, the AP classes and all of that. AP exam, my daughter's in them. Everybody I know that has a child in high school is taking pre-AP or AP classes. And those are, they're basically the equivalent to freshman level college classes. And you take them your junior or senior year. Your really good students, your brainiacs normally can take them their sophomore year. You very seldom find anybody taking an AP class other than a pre-AP class their freshman year. But you do have some sophomores that do have the grades to take the advanced placement, but most often the advanced placement AP classes are taking the junior and senior years, and then pre-AP classes are taking the freshman and sophomore years. And so you have those classes, and like I said, the international baccalaureate classes, which are the classes that prepare you for those that are going to be leaving the country to attend college. The program is supposed to be much more rigorous than even AP classes, and it's supposed to be a little bit higher than collegiate programs. Like the international baccalaureate program is supposed to be the highest of all the collegiate prep courses. And then you have high school endorsement courses, what they call the CMs, which are, and we'll talk about those next, but that's your engineering and welding and culinary arts and cosmetology, you know, all of those classes, you know, they all prepare you to go to college and get certifications and those things as well. So these are the different types of classes that prepare you to go to college, to go to university. And then next we have vocational programs. And so what is a vocational program? A vocational program is vocational training that refers to instructional programs or courses that focus on the skills required for a particular job, function, or trade. In our day, they weren't called vocational training. That was wood shop. That was auto shop, cosmetology. Now we have welding. Our high school here has welding. We have culinary arts. Then you have, you know, your electrician programs, your plumbing programs, fashion design, graphic designs, CNAs, which are certified nursing assistants, or LVN, which is licensed vocational nurses, phlebotomy, carpentry, landscaping, painting, all of that stuff is vocational training classes. Those are vocations. And you can go most high schools now, because some people, I mean, let's be honest, there are some kids who college is not for them. And that's fine, but you have to do something. You just can't sit around the house. So if you're not going to go to college, you need to pick a vocational program. And so there are a lot of high schools now that offer what they call the CTE programs, and we'll get to that on the next screen, what CTE means. But they all offer these types of classes where, just like the engineering with my daughter, and to be honest, the engineering program is actually a vocational program, but she'll get her 2-year mechanical engineering certification when she finishes high school this year. But what happens is same thing, kind of like the dual credit, but it's not dual credit. You and your freshman year here at Duncanville, the freshmen all pick an endorsement. Back when we were in high school, you just went to school. You had to get the credits you needed to graduate, but you just went to school. Now they have to pick an endorsement, like picking a major in college. You can't just go to high school. You have to go to high school, but you pick an endorsement. So they have business classes, most of these classes, I know they don't have plumbing or electrician or phlebotomy, but they have auto mechanics, cosmetology, welding, culinary arts, graphic design. They have communications, STEM, medicine, medical, the CNAs and LBNs. They have those courses. Duncanville now has so many, what they call the CTE program courses, where if you successfully complete the courses required, and normally you're taking 4 classes. You take 2 your junior year. You take the introductory courses your freshman and sophomore year, but your certification classes, you will take your junior and senior year. And then when you finish, you'll come out with a certification where you can go right into a job, the summer after you graduate high school. Like with my daughter with the mechanical engineering program, she'll come out with a mechanical, what they call advanced technology mechatronics certification, which is basically a mechanical engineering level 1 certification, $26 an hour coming out of high school. So if she chooses to go that route and make some money before she goes off to college, the money is there, And so then the different types of vocational trainings that prepares you, for vocational programs, you have the high school CTE. Like I said, we learned about that. CTE just means career and technical preparation. And those are the programs that lead to certifications along with the high school diploma. That's your endorsements. Then you have technical preparation education, or what they call tech prep education. That's where after you was like, say with my daughter with engineering, after she finishes her 2 years of the engineering certification, then she would, if she so chose to take this route, would go another 2 years at Mountain View and finish up the complete, like the level 2. When she graduates, she'll have a level 1 certification. With the technical prep education, she would get the level 2, because you would do this 2 years at the high school and then go to the local junior college and do the remaining 2 years and get the full level 2 certification. That's another route. Then you have post-secondary vocational school. Post-secondary just means after high school. Primary school is elementary. Secondary schools are junior high and high school. Post-secondary is anything that any school or program that you attend after high school. So the post-secondary vocational schools, which are your trade schools. And then you have the apprenticeship programs where you will get a job to work under an apprentice for up to 5 years. These are like your sushi makers, which those people I give my, tip my cap to, because how long it takes to become a sushi chef. It takes them sometimes it could take them 10, 15 years to become a sushi chef. Like, what are you doing for 10 years? I don't know, but I watched the documentary on it. Tripped me out. But, these are people like your woodwork apprentices. They learn how to make specialized furniture and things like that. But that's what an apprenticeship program. You get a job to work up on an apprentice for at least 2 to 5 years. I think they said the average is up to 5 years. And then for a lot of them, they tend to take over once the apprentice dies, or retires or something like that. But that's the apprenticeship program. And then you have the on-the-job training, which is, you get hired into the job and you're in a program and you're learning as you go. So you're doing each step of your job is to learn something new. So after a certain amount of time, you're promoting into jobs, higher and higher, progressing, and the money, making the money, and you're learning as you go. And then continuous development. These are your professional development class. every person in a vocational program has to take the required professional development, because these are vocational programs lead to certifications. They have to recertify. They have to go back and take the refresher courses. They have to go back and take the exams and then recertify. And I think, depending on the industry, sometimes it's every 2 years or every 5 years, because things change, protocols change, new machinery comes in, stuff becomes outdated, so they have to do continuous development, which is required professional development. And then for some, it's military training. They enlist in the military and they learn a trade while being in the military. Some become mechanics, some become police, business. There's just things that you can learn in the military that when you come out, you can also, and you're prepared. Remember years ago when we were little, used to always see the Army, get a hold on life, join the Army Reserve. They will always tell you, you'll come out going into corporate America with this degree or this degree. You're not just joining the Army or the military to become a soldier. You're learning, a trade. So some people go to the military and learn a trade and then come out and use it, in corporate America. And then you have what you call your distance learning programs, or now there are virtual or online programs. Some of them are teacher-led and synchronous, and some of them are teacher-led asynchronous, which means there's no specific time that you have to be in class. Synchronous means you meet the same time every week or whatever. Asynchronous, as long as you get it done in a certain time frame. But those still lead to you have to complete an exam to get your certificate. You're not just completing the class and get a grade. You complete the class, you take an exam, you pass the exam, you get a certificate. So even just like just like the college courses, you still have programs, and there are still things that you have to do to prepare for vocational programs. You're just not saying, hey, I'm going to become an electrician and just go. No, you have to take classes. I think your average vocational training class is, I think now they're 6 months. I remember back in the day, they used to be like a couple of years, but they've learned that some classes are just not needed. Some people still, question why college students have to take English. I'm one of them, but they've learned, you don't need those classes to be an electrician. So they've streamlined these vocational programs, and they're just learning what they need to do the job. And so it's cut out a lot of time in these vocational programs. They're literally only doing what is needed to do the job. So now vocational programs, where they used to be 2 years, and some of them still are, like I said, depending on what you're doing. But the average one is now like 6 months. Like I think a phlebotomy class is 6 months. CNA classes are 6 months. Dental assistants, 6 months. Cosmetology is still couple of years. I think it's a couple of years. Auto mechanics, I think is, well, it depends. I've seen a 6 months auto mechanic one too, but they're not as long as they used to be anymore. But it's just one of those things. You may not want to go to college, and what they say, college is not for me. It may not be for you, but you got to do something. Coming, whether you go to college or go to a vocational program, they both have things in common. And those things are, for whichever route you take, it is lifelong learning to stay up to date on skills and procedures. Whether you get a degree and do whatever, or go to vocational school and get certifications and do whatever, you are still having to do lifelong learning, because guess what? Like I was saying with the certifications and getting recertified, in whatever industry you're in, they're going to make you take refresher professional development courses. You can't get out of that, because sometimes you have to take them every year. You have your standard HR classes, but depending on the industry, there are certain classes that, you get a certification in and it expires after a certain amount of time. And then you just want to stay up to date. That's what going to the things are for. Staying up to date on, modernized protocols and procedures and policies, finding. So it's lifelong learning, regardless to which route you take. Employment and careers. Nobody is doing this to not do anything. So both of them leads to being employed, and some people just say they have a job, but for others they have a career. So both lead to careers and jobs. Both lead to dedication and time investment. You're not doing this without dedicating yourself to it. You don't just enroll in a vocational program and say, hey, I'm going to go out and become a plumber and just not give it your all. So there's a time investment, because like I said, every program, depending on which route you go, they all have a time investment, and you have to be dedicated to what you're doing. They both require you mastering time management and setting goals. Otherwise, you will become a career person. With vocational programs, you can't become a career college student. Like some people go to college all their life and don't ever do anything. With vocational programs, you can't do that. You only have a certain amount of time to get it finished. If you don't get it finished from, you get dropped from the program. So it requires time management, managing your time to study, go to class, do your assignments, get your certification work done, setting goals. What are you going to do? What are your goals for when you finish? It both require that. You go to college, you have to, enroll in the classes. Classes are off schedules, do study, it doesn't matter, you have to do those things. Both lead to personal and professional growth. There's no way that you can put yourself through all of that and not personally grow, not learn who you are, not mature. Those are things that are going to automatically happen. If you invest the time and the dedication to do these things, you are going to mature. That's just part of it. And then professional growth, that means that you are growing as a person, not only just in promoting, but in who you are here, getting more confident in being in who you are, being able to do your job and do it well. Every industry has what they call experts. And just because you're not labeled an expert, don't know what to do. So you have professional growth, and that also means, you're growing, promoting, you're growing in salary, so you're going to grow professionally in who you are and mature, but you're also going to grow, you're going to grow personally, but you're also going to grow professionally in your confidence in knowing how to do your job, and then promoting, and then getting more money. And then both requires some form of funding. So if you don't have grants or scholarships, or you haven't gone to work and raise the money to pay for these programs, you're going to fill out FAFSA forms and TASFA forms and get student loans. Remember, TASFA is just the Texas version of the financial aid, the federal financial aid form. But they both require funding of some kind. Some people go to work and pay as they go. Some people get grants, some people get scholarships, but for many, they are getting student loans. So whichever route you take, these are the things that they're going to be there regardless. And so you choose wisely. You have to live your life and no one else's. So like with my daughter, we talk about the different, she loves chemistry, that type of, she's a science person. And so, we sat down and, talked about the different, being a biochemical major versus being a biomedical engineer. A chemical engineer versus being a biomedical engineer. And realize, what were the job opportunities out there? What is the job situation like? What's the salary situation like? We did that because, like I told her, this is your life. I can help you by giving you the facts that you need, but you at the end of the day have to pick what you want to do. So, and there's nothing wrong with getting input from family and friends and all of that, but it's your life. So Makia and Sierra, when you're trying to figure out, hey, do I want to go to college or do I want to choose a vocational program? You have to make that choice. Sierra's chosen to go to UTD. Makia, didn't you say you were going to college? But I'm saying whichever choice you make, that's your choice. Don't let anybody else, I can't make that choice for my daughter. I can't make that choice for anybody else. I can just help people by giving them the facts, giving you the information. Once you have the information, you can make a well-developed decision. You live your life and choose what you do wisely, because you have to live that life. You don't want to get somewhere down the line and say, hey, I wasn't even doing this for me. Like I do with my basketball players. I ask them all the time, are you still playing basketball because you want to play? Because if you're only playing because mom and dad signed you up, or because mom and dad want you to play because they played and now they living through you, that's not going to work. And you're never going to be happy with it. So there are times that you just have to ask that question, what they call the elephant in the room. Is this what you want to do? Or is this still what you want to do? And if you don't, then what is your other option? Don't just say, I don't want to do this, but don't have an option. If you're not going to do something, you better have a backup. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this. So choose wisely. You have to live your life, no one else. And my references come from Ed.D today. And does anybody have any questions on anything? Y'all normally tend not to, but I ask anyway. And so next Thursday, which is the first week in February, goodness, January flew by. We're going to be discussing the differences between leading and managing, and there are several. That's going to be, excuse me, that's going to be next Thursday, February 4th at 7 p.m. And hopefully I will get the information. If it wasn't for my daughter, I didn't even realize I hadn't sent out to y'all the information for today's meeting till after 6 o'clock. My apologies, but I'll get this set up and have everything sent to y'all by next Monday. I try not to send it too early because I don't want it to get lost in your inbox. You know, some of y'all get 100, 200 emails a day. So I'll try to probably send it next Wednesday night, you know, so it'll be there, or maybe Thursday morning, so it'll be at the top of your inbox. But I just, this week, I just completely forgot it. My apologies. But next week, we are discussing differences between managing and leading. And anybody that has ever worked a job knows there are so many of them. And as with anything, if you need me, you know, to contact me, 800-EDUCATOR Bridget at TICommunities.com, or call or text or email. Or at Facebook.com/Dr. Bridget M. King, EDD. And that is the end of tonight's presentation. Y'all, I did that in 21 minutes. Look there. I told y'all it wasn't going to be long tonight, though. I didn't want to, you know, y'all see I haven't done a truly hour-long presentation in a long time. Sometimes there's information that I do want to present and make sure it gets out to you, but most often there's information, you know, some of this stuff, you know, y'all know me, it's not going to take all night. And I'm actually purposely choosing topics where I don't keep you so long. You know, it is nighttime after all. Some of you guys have just gotten home from work or just gotten off work or still at work. And I love you for taking time and being with me. I had to take everybody's picture. Did I get everybody? Oh, let me get you the survey. I didn't want to post it too soon. But, you know, as you talk, you know, I have a friend right now that's, you know, that has asked me to speak with her daughter. Oh, I'm looking at the survey results on the poll everywhere. So I have half said that out of high school, they went straight to college or university. And the other half said they either went to work or joined the military or something else. So that's good. You know, at least nobody said I did nothing. So that, you know, that's a good response. Thank you, ladies. I'm on that website. But let me post the survey for you. You know, but I have friends. I had a friend last night ask me to talk to her daughter because she doesn't, basically has zero plans, you know, and in this day and time, when you're in high school, you can't wait till your senior year to start applying. You have to basically get that stuff going the spring of your junior year, and then the summer of before your senior year and the fall of your senior year. That's when you're applying to schools, because schools now do what's called early action and early decision. And remember, early action, depending on the college, I've realized that some colleges use them interchangeably. But either early action or early decision, colleges are now saying, hey, you decided you want to come to us, get your application in early. Let's go ahead and give you a decision. Some will say, they'll say that, but then they'll say, you know, if you get accepted to us, you can't apply anywhere else. If you've applied somewhere else, you have to immediately withdraw your application. So make sure, Makia and Sierra, that when you're applying, that you read and make sure that you're doing a regular decision. At this point, most colleges' early decision and early actions have passed. Those applications ended in December. Some ended the first week in January, but most of them ended in December. And so now most colleges are taking applications for what they call regular decision or rolling decisions. So as the applications come in, they're making a decision. Some are collecting all the applications, and then they're going to send out one, like they're going to pick a day, like most of it is either March or April, where they're going to send everybody their decision in an email on one day, you know, and then the rolling decision is where you send your application in and somebody looks at it and reviews it and lets you know within, you know, anywhere from 72 hours to a week or two, you know. So just make sure that you know what you're trying to do. And if you have friends that are juniors or sophomores, you know, ask them, you know, have y'all thought about, you know, do you want to go to college, or do you want to go to a vocational school? You know, because friends listen, you know, they may not listen to adults, but they will listen to each other, you know. So, you know, like I said, I have a friend now that has asked me to sit down and talk with her daughter, and that's fine, you know. But I told her, I was like, you know, sometimes people will ask me to do that, and their children will feel kind of You know, why my mom asked you to do this? You know, so it's kind of like I'm always have you talk to your child first. You know, don't blindside them by having me call and talk to them and you have said nothing to them about me calling them. You know, so it's just one of those, you know, I will help anyone, you know, but make sure that if you ask me to help your child that you've discussed it with them first. You know, I don't want to cause any issues, but I always talk to my players about school because I told them you're going to college. They know Coach Bree, you're going to college or you're going to a vocational program, but sitting around the house is not going to fly with me. And I know it's not going to fly with your parents either. But I want to just, you know, there's so much going on with these kids. So let's make sure that they're doing something out of, you know, after high school. I don't care if they go to college or, you know, go and learn how to landscape, cut grass. There is plenty of money to be made in becoming a landscaper and you know, mowing lawns and stuff like that. You know, so hey, you know, flipping hamburgers, don't care, do something. You know, if you're gonna flip hamburgers, be the best hamburger flipper you can be. You know, that's how some people spend 20, 30 years in McDonald's. It's not the fact that they're working at McDonald's, they actually enjoy their job. You know, so but with all of that being said, I want to say thank you, ladies, and see you next week. Hope to see you back, Makia. I'm glad to see you. I hadn't seen you in a while. But thank you, ladies, for coming. I took everybody, I took the picture already, so I got that. So thank everybody for coming. Love you. See you all next Thursday. Bye-bye.